Xiao Yan's soul realm had reached the pinnacle of the heavenly realm, and he unexpectedly sensed the soul hall's master. Luckily, the Pill Tower's ancestor intervened, saving him from disaster. Continuing from the last chapter, the soul hall's deputy hall master, fearing he couldn't defeat Ziyin, retreated without engaging in battle. This unexpected move caught Xiao Yan and the others off guard, allowing the deputy hall master to tear open space and escape. Xiao Yan watched the spot where the deputy hall master vanished, frowning slightly. He sure ran fast. His frown quickly eased. The deputy hall master was no ordinary opponent, possessing the strength of a late 3-star Do Sheng. Without Ziyan's presence, the battle would have been extremely fierce, and even then, Xiao Yan was uncertain he could have slain him like he did the grand heavenly Do Zun. After all, the deputy hall master's strength far surpassed that of the grand heavenly Do Zun. Ziyan also felt helpless. Although defeating him wasn't difficult, I couldn't stop him from escaping if he was determined to flee. If a late 3-star Do Sheng decided to run, even Ziyin couldn't completely stop him. Additionally, the deputy hall master was exceedingly cautious, retreating without a fight, making it impossible for Ziyin to capture him. Xiao Yan nodded, gently stroking his storage ring and smiling faintly. Let him run. Sooner or later, the Soul Hall will realize it was us. The Alliance and the Soul Hall have long been mortal enemies. Recently, the Alliance suffered heavy attacks from the Soul Hall. This time, we're just paying them back. Let no one say that the Alliance only takes blows like a turtle. Capturing the grand heavenly Do Zun and obtaining the Sea Heart Flame had already made this journey immensely rewarding. Moreover, they destroyed an important branch of the Soul Hall, a loss that even the Soul Hall couldn't easily endure. Xiao Yan glanced at the Soul Hall strongmen fleeing from Xiao Yixian and Qing Lin's pursuit. Then, he shifted his gaze to the battle between Yao Lao and the Bone Ghost Saint. The latter was now clearly at a disadvantage, his aura weakened. Despite his tough talk, he was still just a high-level half-Do Sheng and couldn't compete with Yao Lao, who was a Do Sheng. Defeating him was only a matter of time. Xiao Yan said, "Keep an eye on Bone Ghost. Don't let that old ghost escape." Ziyin nodded slightly. Got it. She moved swiftly, like a dragon charging into a flock of sheep, killing all the Soul Hall strongmen within minutes. In this almost slaughter-like scene, Xiao Yan didn't bother to divide his attention. He looked down at the enormous hall below, gripped his mysterious heavy ruler, and slashed it fiercely. A massive flame streak, hundreds of feet long, shot out, splitting the giant hall open, revealing countless black chains inside, each ending with a cluster of soul light orbs. Looking at the thousands of soul entities, Xiao Yan couldn't help but twitch his eye. These bastards of the Soul Clan were completely using souls as nourishment. With a wave of his hand, a terrifying gust of wind swept through, instantly shattering the chains. The souls within the light clusters slowly opened their eyes, weak and bewildered. Eventually, a wave of extreme joy spread through them. Although they didn't know exactly what had happened, they felt the taste of freedom. For so many years, they had been imprisoned here, sometimes even longing for death as a luxury. Seeing these souls, overjoyed to the point of tears, Xiao Yan sighed softly and said, "Leave now. Don't let the Soul Hall capture you again." In the sky, countless souls hovered, then kneeled towards Xiao Yan, giving him a great bow before rushing through the space barrier, madly heading towards the free world outside. Watching the souls frantically escape, Xiao Yan couldn't help but shake his head. Just as he was about to turn around, he suddenly sensed something. He looked at the ruins of the giant hall and faintly felt some strange fluctuations. After a moment of hesitation, he descended slowly, waving his sleeve. A powerful gust of wind sent the towering stone pillars flying. With Xiao Yan's rapid excavation, a huge pit quickly appeared in the ruins. At the bottom of the pit floated a light cluster about half a meter in size. The cluster was transparent and surrounded by numerous black chains, which connected to the souls that had just escaped. Clearly, this light cluster was something extracted from those souls. Xiao Yan frowned as he looked at the light cluster. From it, he sensed an extremely terrifying and pure soul fluctuation. Behind him, Yao Lao's voice came, This is the soul source. Turning around, Xiao Yan saw Yao Lao floating down from the sky. The bone ghost saint had been swiftly dealt with by Ziyin, allowing Yao Lao to join him quickly. Xiao Yan murmured, "Soul source." He now understood what it was. The soul is the essence of all beings. Everything in the world possesses a soul, and deep within the soul lies the soul source, the foundation of its birth. It is the purest form of energy in the world. Yao Lao's expression was complex as he said, "Such a vast amount of soul source must have been condensed from at least 1,000,000 souls. This light cluster is likely the collection from the human hall over the years." The deputy hall master of the soul hall was so focused on escaping that he didn't take this crucial item. Xiao Yan exhaled lightly. 1,000,000 souls. The soul hall is a scourge on this entire continent. The soul hall's methods were indeed vicious. To gather this soul source, they destroyed 1,000,000 souls, and this was just from the human hall. There were many other branches in the Central Plains, and those places likely had similar sinister activities. Yao Lao's face showed undisguised disgust. Indeed, it is a scourge. The Soul Hall would stop at nothing to achieve their goals. This brutal act was hardly different from harvesting human blood and flesh. In fact, it was even more ruthless. Xiao Yan frowned and asked, "What is the Soul Hall planning with all these soul sources?" He could sense that this was undoubtedly part of a grand conspiracy by the Soul Hall. Yao Lao spoke slowly. Absorbing soul sources can enhance one's soul power. With a vast amount of soul sources and some luck, one might step into the legendary imperial realm of the soul. Xiao Yan was shocked. Are you saying that someone in the Soul Clan is trying to cultivate their soul power to the imperial realm by capturing souls and extracting soul sources? Yao Lao stroked his beard, frowning. That seems likely, but I'm not certain. When I was captured by the Soul Hall, they tried to make me submit to them. They seemed to need my alchemy skills for something. I didn't agree, so I don't know exactly what they wanted me to do, but I suspect it was related to these soul sources. Xiao Yan's frown deepened. All signs pointed to the Soul Clan preparing something in secret. Collecting souls and refining soul sources was just one of the initial steps. What are these guys trying to do? Xiao Yan had encountered the Netherworld Demon Saint, a peak strongman who had also cultivated his soul to the imperial realm. However, according to the remnant soul's words, even reaching the imperial realm of the soul didn't make one a true Do-Di. Perhaps, what the Netherworld Demon Saint mentioned as the missing element in this world was the key to solving all mysteries. Could the thing the Netherworld Demon Saint mentioned be this soul source? Xiao Yan shook his head in confusion, sighing. Despite his thoughts, he couldn't find a clear direction. What should we do with this? He referred to the soul source cluster in front of him. It was something the human hall had painstakingly collected and was immensely valuable. If taken out, it would drive countless alchemists crazy. Yao Lao hesitated for a moment before saying, "This was condensed through slaughter and shouldn't exist in this world. But since it has appeared, we can't discard it. You should keep it. Your soul realm is currently at the late heavenly realm, still far from the peak. If you can refine and absorb this soul source, you should be able to reach the peak. This would greatly benefit you in your quest for the pure lotus demon flame." Upon hearing this, Xiao Yan was momentarily stunned. He fell silent, then without much hesitation, turned his gaze to the soul source cluster. With a wave of his hand, he shattered all the chains and slowly caressed the surface of the cluster, whispering, "I will avenge you." With these simple words, the soul source cluster suddenly emitted a faint glow, as if transmitting numerous messages. Xiao Yan silently accepted the information flowing from the soul light cluster. Despite the concentration of soul sources within it, there was no trace of intelligence, only lingering emotions of resentment and unwillingness left behind before death. These emotions would be challenging to refine completely. Reckless absorption would undoubtedly affect one's mind. However, Xiao Yan's words subtly dissipated these hidden negative feelings. This, in a way, was another form of wisdom from the soul sources. Even in death, they wished to use their final power to ensure their tormentors did not find it easy. While it might seem simple to resolve, the Soul Hall members would never utter such words. Seeing Xiao Yan dissolve the negative emotions within the soul light cluster with just a few words, Yao Lao couldn't help but smile. Heavenly treasures find those destined for them. It seems you are indeed compatible with this soul source. Xiao Yan sighed lightly. The soul hall has committed countless atrocities. With a wave of his sleeve, he stored the soul light cluster in his storage ring. He then glanced around. Apart from the deputy hall master who escaped, everyone else in the human hall was slain. Many strongmen of the soul hall, being soul entities, vanished upon death, but many others had physical bodies, leaving the space filled with corpses and a thick, overwhelming stench of blood. Observing this scene, Xiao Yan's eyes flickered briefly before becoming indifferent. He seldom caused such slaughter, but against those who aided the wicked, he showed no mercy. These people had taken countless lives, even nearly exterminating the Xiao family back then. Not wanting to linger in this place filled with corpses, Xiao Yan secured the soul light cluster and flew towards the mountains. Yao Lao and the others, after a final check of the surroundings, quickly followed. About 10 minutes after Xiao Yan and his group left, a spatial fluctuation appeared above a nearby mountain peak. A dark figure emerged and darted into the ruins of the giant hall. Seeing the excavated ruins, his face turned grim, eyes filled with anger and regret. This dark figure was, of course, the deputy hall master of the soul hall who had just escaped. Our human hall spent 100 years collecting those souls, and that brat took them all. If this news reaches the clan, even I will face severe punishment. He looked at the empty depths of the soul hall, his face pale. The human hall was a crucial branch of the soul hall, imprisoning many strong souls and gathering significant soul sources. Now, Xiao Yan had taken all the soul sources and released the imprisoned souls. This loss was something even the soul hall couldn't easily bear. The deputy hall master shook his head in frustration. That brat has a powerful protector from the primordial ancient dragon clan. I'm no match for her alone. In the current soul hall, apart from the hall master, no one can kill him. We are raising a tiger to court calamity. Years ago, Xiao Yan was merely an insignificant ant in the eyes of the soul hall. Yet, in just over 10 years, he had grown to a point where the entire soul hall was helpless against him. Reflecting on this growth speed filled the deputy hall master with endless regret. Had they paid a bit more attention back then, this formidable enemy could have been eliminated early. The pure lotus demon flame will reappear in 2 months. The hall master will surely take action then. If the clan obtains the pure lotus demon flame, our plan will advance significantly, compensating for the loss of the human hall. His eyes flickered rapidly, and after a moment of hesitation, he gritted his teeth. The space around him rippled, and his figure slowly vanished. Last time, we failed to obtain the pure lotus demon flame, delaying our grand plan. This time, our soul clan must secure it. Once we have the flame, the clan won't need to adhere to the so-called clan agreement. When the strongmen of the clan take action, Xiao Yan will be doomed. Humph, Xiao Yan, just wait. Our soul clan will repay you in kind. You destroyed our human hall. Next time, we'll destroy your Sky Mansion alliance. The deputy hall master's figure disappeared into the void, but his sinister and venomous muttering lingered, echoing for a long time. The news of the destruction of the soul hall and human hall, though not officially announced, spread like wildfire across the entire Central Plains within just a week. The impact of such a shocking event could not be concealed. As a result, it caused a great stir. The strength of the Soul Hall was well known among the powers in the Central Plains. This behemoth-like entity had always stood tall in the region. Even the Pill Tower had repeatedly come off worse in confrontations with them. Therefore, although many forces had suffered at the hands of the Soul Hall, they dared not retaliate and could only harbor their grudges. The sudden news of its downfall was indeed satisfying to many, and the emerging superpower, the Sky Mansion Alliance, began to gain respect. Initially, no one had high hopes for this alliance. After all, the might of the Soul Hall was too overwhelming. Furthermore, the alliance had recently faced attacks, making people believe it was on the verge of collapse. However, the alliance proved everyone wrong with its actions, showing that the Sky Mansion was not afraid of the Soul Hall. Destroying the Human Hall, one of the 3 halls of the Heavenly Star Hall, was an achievement even the Pill Tower had not managed in its battles with the Soul Hall. Yet, the Alliance accomplished this feat, making it clear to everyone that they had the power to contend with the Soul Hall. While the entire Central Plains and the Alliance were in a fervent atmosphere due to the destruction of the human hall, Xiao Yan, after a few days of recuperation, planned to refine and absorb the soul essence. His current soul realm was at the late heavenly realm, slightly stronger than Yao Lao's. But above this late stage, there was another level, the pinnacle of the heavenly realm. Only by reaching the pinnacle could one come infinitely close to the legendary Imperial Realm. An Imperial Realm soul, even in ancient times, was a rarity. Those who reached this level were often the pinnacles of their eras, such as the Netherworld Demon Saint. Although reaching the Imperial Realm soul didn't necessarily mean becoming a true Do Di, it was undeniable that when one reached the peak of the 9-star Do Shang, their soul power would boost their strength to its limits, potentially making them an existence akin to a half-emperor, just like the Netherworld Demon Saint. Of course, advancing one's soul realm was extremely challenging. Across the entire continent, those who could reach the pinnacle of the heavenly realm were few and far between. Perhaps the mysterious ancestor of the small Pill Tower, who roamed the world, could be one, and the leaders of clans like the Ancient Clan and Soul Clan might also be included. But no matter how you estimate, their numbers were pitifully small. In the Star Realm, atop a cloud-covered mountain, Xiao Yan sat cross-legged on a large rock. In front of him, a light orb about half a meter in diameter floated gently, emitting a soft and pure glow that spread around, making the surrounding grass even more lush and green. Xiao Yan gazed at the soul light orb, exhaling lightly before extending his palm to touch it. Upon contact, he could feel the vast soul essence within, making his soul feel extremely warm. Xiao Yan opened his mouth, and a flame with a gray-brown hue tinged with light blue was spat out. He had already refined the sea heart flame within him. As expected, the effect of refining it wasn't significant, and his strength had only slightly improved, not even reaching the mid-stage of the 2-star Do Shang. As for the flame mantra, it had upgraded slightly but only from a quasi-heaven rank technique to a low-level heaven rank technique, which wasn't a remarkable improvement. Xiao Yan wasn't frustrated by this outcome, as he had anticipated it. Now, as a Doshing expert, he was no longer the same as before. At this level, ordinary heavenly flames could no longer catch his interest. The flame appeared, floating under the soul light orb, and turned into a blazing fire, enveloping the entire light orb. Although the soul essence was very pure, it was still something obtained from the soul hall, so caution was necessary. As the high temperature gradually penetrated, the soul light orb began to boil slightly. Faint wisps of black gas emerged from it and then dissipated into nothingness. Seeing this black gas, Xiao Yan's eyebrows furrowed slightly. He sensed very weak spiritual imprints within it, evidently infused by the soul hall experts. If absorbed into the soul, it could cause significant issues. Those soul hall guys are indeed insidious and ruthless, Xiao Yan muttered. Xiao Yan waved his sleeve, and the flames surged once more, refining all the hidden black gas within the light orb. As the black gas dissipated, the soul light orb became increasingly transparent and crystalline, almost appearing illusory. This refinement process continued for half an hour before Xiao Yan gradually extinguished the flames. He looked at the crystal-like soul light orb floating in front of him and finally let out a breath of relief. With a movement of his hand, the soul power from his brow surged out, transforming into a human-shaped figure identical to Xiao Yan, sitting cross-legged before the soul light orb. The figure's mouth opened slightly, and a suction force emerged. With the appearance of this suction force, the soul light orb trembled slightly, and an exceptionally pure soul essence spread out, wrapping around Xiao Yan's soul form. The essence continuously merged into his soul through his mouth, nose, and pores. As more and more soul essence was absorbed, a layer of crystal-like film gradually appeared on the surface of Xiao Yan's soul, making it seem as though it was covered in a strange crystalline layer. The soul light orb gently pulsated, emitting clear, water-like sounds. Streams of pure soul essence continuously flowed into Xiao Yan's soul. Under this infusion, a faint look of intoxication appeared on the face of Xiao Yan's soul form. Wrapped in this essence, his soul felt as if it were being bathed in a warm light, a sensation akin to a fetus in the womb. Thin layers of a strange crystalline film silently emerged on the surface of his soul form, giving it a substantial appearance, which was quite wondrous. The soul light orb contained a terrifying amount of soul essence. This essence was condensed from the extraction of millions of souls by the human hall. Before such a vast soul essence, even Xiao Yan felt a slight sense of insignificance. As more and more soul essence was absorbed by Xiao Yan, invisible ripples spread out from him, slowly expanding. These ripples caused an eerie silence within a radius of 1,000 feet around the mountain. All living beings in the forest felt a soul-deep pressure, and even the fiercest magical beasts in the mountains were trembling on the ground, not daring to let out a single roar. The commotion caused by Xiao Yan's cultivation this time was not small. The ripples seemed intangible, but carried an irresistible pressure. Shortly after the ripples spread, many strong figures in the falling star pavilion noticed and hurried over. However, as soon as they entered the 1,000-foot radius of the mountain where Xiao Yan was cultivating, they felt a sudden dizziness, almost unable to maintain their balance, with a sense of falling from the sky. Shocked, they quickly retreated and only felt better after leaving the 1,000-foot radius, looking with uncertainty at the mist-shrouded mountain. "This guy's soul power is becoming more and more terrifying," they murmured. In the sky above, Yao Lao and others also appeared, looking towards the distant mountain with serious expressions. The soul pressure was something even they couldn't resist. Xiao Yan now far surpassed Yao Lao in both Do Qi and soul power. The great elder of the small Pill Tower looked enviously at the mountain where Xiao Yan was, sighing softly, the pinnacle of the heavenly realm soul, a level that no one in the small Pill Tower, except the ancestor, has reached for over 1,000 years. "Yao Chun, you have indeed taken a good disciple this time." Xiao Yan's achievements are enough to make all the younger generation and even the old monsters of the Yao clan feel ashamed. His soul realm had remained at the late heavenly realm for hundreds of years, yet he still couldn't touch the pinnacle level, showing just how difficult it was to advance in soul realm. Yao Lao smiled faintly, with an unmistakable look of satisfaction in his eyes. Xiao Yan's ability to reach this point was beyond his expectations. In terms of talent, there were people more gifted than Xiao Yan, but he had steadily progressed to a level that those with outstanding talent could only look up to. This was due to opportunities, but even more so to his great perseverance and numerous life and death experiences. Yao Lao thought to himself, "When there's time in the future, I must take Xiao Yan to the Yao clan. I have no longing for this clan, but I must engrave the names of my parents on the clan's ancestral monument. This was the promise I made to them when they passed away." With his hands behind his back, Yao Lao gazed towards the distant west, a rare expression of sadness in his eyes. His life had also been full of hardships. Fortunately, at his most desperate moment, heaven gave him a glimmer of hope. Back in the distant time and place of the Xiao family in the back hills of Wutan City, he placed his last bet on that young boy. Behind Yao Lao, the Dozun of Wind said, "I wonder how long Xiao Yan will need to cultivate this time. Judging by the days, the pure lotus demon flame should descend soon." According to some of the information I've gathered, the Soul Hall is also making moves in the shadows, clearly aiming for the pure lotus demon flame. Don't worry, he will wake up on time. For now, let's wait for his breakthrough. Also, pass down the order. No one is allowed within 1,000 feet of Xiao Yan's cultivation area. Yao Lao smiled slightly, not staying any longer. With a movement, he slowly descended back to the main pavilion. Time passed quietly in the serene cultivation, day by day. However, the soul ripples spreading from the mountain did not dissipate. Instead, they grew stronger. A month later, almost the entire star realm was affected by these ripples. As a result, except for a few individuals, everyone else had to give up flying, reluctantly running on the ground while enduring the soul pressure like thorns on their backs. In this situation, Yao Lao and others were helpless. Even they could barely resist the soul pressure and had no energy to help others. However, this suppression was also a unique form of training for the disciples of the Falling Star Pavilion. As the saying goes, traveling 1,000 miles is better than reading 10 years of books, and walking more was considered a way to cultivate Do Qi. With this mindset, the entire Falling Star Pavilion's disciples endured the soul pressure for over a month. Though it was extremely uncomfortable for many, they gradually adapted and noticed a subtle increase in their soul power, which brought them great joy. As non-alchemists, they had very few ways to enhance their soul power. This unexpected improvement was a pleasant surprise, as stronger soul power would significantly boost their cultivation. After tasting the benefits, no one complained anymore. Some talented disciples even saw it as a rare training opportunity. Instead of avoiding the Star Realm, they walked step by step towards Xiao Yan's cultivation mountain. Under this voluntary pressure, their soul power improved rapidly. After all, experiencing the soul pressure of a pinnacle heavenly realm was a rare opportunity. Moreover, during Xiao Yan's cultivation, some of the soul essence, under his control, drifted into the Star Realm. If the disciples of the Falling Star Pavilion were lucky enough to absorb it, it would be like a divine elixir for them. After the first batch of disciples reaped the benefits, more and more realized the opportunity. Soon, the entire Star Realm was buzzing with excitement. Thousands of Falling Star Pavilion disciples trekked towards Xiao Yan's cultivation mountain, struggling as if wading through a swamp. Each step was an immense challenge, exhausting their energy. However, this exhaustion also significantly accelerated their cultivation speed. As this trend spread, even some elders of the Falling Star Pavilion couldn't resist joining this special training. Even Yao Lao and the others were taken aback by the sudden transformation of the Star Realm. They couldn't help but laugh and cry at the unexpected commotion caused by Xiao Yan's cultivation. However, it was also beneficial as this experience provided a rare training opportunity for the disciples of the Falling Star Pavilion. Experiencing the aura of a pinnacle heavenly realm soul would save them from unnecessary detours in their future cultivation. This peculiar trend continued in the Star Realm for over 50 days before the soul pressure gradually weakened and dissipated. As the soul pressure that permeated the Star Realm weakened, Yao Lao and the others grew more solemn. They could feel an immense, invisible force, like the heavens and earth, quietly gathering in the depths of the mountains. Xiao Yan is about to wake up, they remarked. Yao Lao and the others knew that Xiao Yan's cultivation was nearing its end. 2 more days passed as Yao Lao and the others waited. On the mountaintop, Xiao Yan sat cross-legged. In front of him was a figure wrapped in a strange, crystal-like layer. The figure's face was identical to Xiao Yan's. The originally half-meter-tall soul essence had now shrunk to the size of half a head, with pure soul essence gently drifting out. The crystal figure remained motionless like a statue. After a long while, its tightly closed mouth suddenly opened slightly, and a strong suction force erupted. The half-head-sized soul light orb shot out and transformed into a stream of light, entering the mouth of the crystal Xiao Yan. As the soul light orb entered the crystal Xiao Yan's mouth, his body trembled violently. A blinding light surged from his body, and an immense, invisible force, like a storm, swept out from within him. At that moment, the sky was covered with dark clouds, and lightning danced wildly. Boom! In the sky, dark clouds gathered, lightning streaked like silver snakes, and thunder echoed through the space. Simultaneously, an immense, invisible force, like the heavens and earth, centered on the mountain and swept out like a storm. On the main pavilion of the Falling Star Pavilion, Yao Lao and the others looked at the sky with solemn expressions. What a terrifying soul pressure! The phenomena caused by the immense soul pressure shocked them. The power of a pinnacle heavenly realm soul was astonishing. The great elder of the small Pill Tower stroked his beard and said slowly, Xiao Yan now, just with his soul power alone, can contend with a 2-star Do Sheng. Ziyin, standing nearby, also showed a hint of surprise. The primordial ancient dragon's physical body was extremely powerful, but in terms of soul power, it was a weakness. Even someone as strong as her was shocked by this soul pressure. Yao Lao said solemnly, it's said that if one can reach the imperial realm, their soul will become indestructible. Even if forcibly scattered, the remaining soul particles can gradually gather and eventually regenerate. Although the pinnacle of the heavenly realm is far from the imperial realm, Its power is undoubtedly incomparable to the late heavenly realm. The great elder of the small Pill Tower smiled and said, "Once the soul reaches the pinnacle of the heavenly realm, it becomes indistinguishable from the physical body. In battle, the soul can separate and fight alongside the body with unparalleled coordination, greatly enhancing its power." His smile carried a hint of envy. Before reaching the pinnacle of the heavenly realm, the soul was somewhat weak and generally not summoned in battle, as injuries to the soul were too damaging. However, once the soul reached the pinnacle of the heavenly realm, it became a different form of entity with power equal to the body, and its defense was astonishing. Fighting alongside the body, its power was naturally immense. Although the pinnacle of the heavenly realm was still within the heavenly realm, the difference between it and the late heavenly realm was vast. From a certain perspective, when one's soul power reaches the pinnacle of the heavenly realm, it can be said that they've gained a battle companion of extraordinary synergy. Moreover, this companion's strength directly correlates with one's own power. This is somewhat akin to the 3000 Thunder Illusions, a Do technique that can create clones. However, the clones produced by the 3000 Thunder Illusions can't compare in power or substance to those formed by a soul at the pinnacle of the heavenly realm. The intangible soul, like ripples on water, quietly spread beneath the thick clouds. The entire star realm was reflected back into Xiao Yan's mind. At that moment, he could sense the subtle emotional fluctuations of anyone within the star realm. From these fluctuations alone, Xiao Yan could discern the thoughts and feelings of many individuals. This was a different kind of control, a terrifying method of insight into human hearts, made possible by a soul at the pinnacle of the heavenly realm. A low murmur echoed in Xiao Yan's mind. So this is the pinnacle of the heavenly realm? He could clearly feel the vast difference between his current state and before. If his previous soul power was like a growing teenager, now his soul was like a battle-hardened warrior wielding a sharp blade. With a thought, Xiao Yan's intangible soul wave spread out again like a tide, swiftly enveloping the star realm. In less than a minute, everything within 1,000 miles of the falling star pavilion was projected into Xiao Yan's mind. The speed of his soul wave did not slow. Instead, it continued to expand. The intangible wave swept over many strong individuals. However, except for those with extremely sensitive souls who felt a slight chill on their skin, even peak Dozuns were unaware that their every move was being observed. Xiao Yan's soul wave extended thousands of miles. Along the way, he encountered some powerful souls. In some remote mountains, he occasionally felt the gaze of some souls upon him, clearly aware of his soul wave. Indeed, the central plains hid many powerful individuals. As his soul wave rapidly expanded, just as Xiao Yan was about to retract it, he suddenly felt a strange heat emanating from the depths of his soul. With a thought, his soul wave darted towards the source of the heat. The speed at which his soul wave traveled far surpassed that of his physical body. Within a few breaths, his soul reached the source of the heat. It was a region of towering mountains, where the space above was extremely distorted. Faint milky white light seeped through the twisted space. As Xiao Yan's soul wave touched this light, an intense burning pain suddenly surged from the depths of his soul. This sudden pain left Xiao Yan momentarily stunned. What is this? His soul contained 5 types of heavenly flames, making it impervious to ordinary flames, let alone causing such burning pain. As Xiao Yan reeled in shock, the strange light cluster he had obtained from the ancient map of the pure lotus demon flame suddenly began to vibrate violently in his mind. This vibration made Xiao Yan realize something. He stared in shock at the distorted space in the sky, a murmur echoing in his heart. This is where the pure lotus demon flame descends? Only the pure lotus demon flame could cause the strange light cluster in Xiao Yan's mind, which had remained still since it appeared, to react in such a way. And only the pure lotus demon flame could make Xiao Yan, protected by 5 types of heavenly flames, feel that burning pain once more. As Xiao Yan stared at the twisted space in shock, suddenly, the space began to churn violently. Immediately, a vast and overwhelming soul wave surged out from the space and collided fiercely with Xiao Yan's soul wave. The sudden and terrifying clash caught Xiao Yan off guard. His mind buzzed continuously, and he even felt a bit dizzy. Xiao Yan quickly regained his composure. As soon as he was attacked, he pulled back his soul wave and shouted angrily, "Who?" The attacker had managed to injure him, indicating that their soul power was not much weaker than his. "Are you that junior of the Xiao clan, Xiao Yan?" Hearing this indifferent voice from the void, Xiao Yan was slightly surprised and responded with his soul wave. "Who are you? Why did you attack me?" The mysterious person did not answer Xiao Yan's question. The calm and emotionless voice slowly echoed in Xiao Yan's mind. "It seems you've absorbed the soul essence collected by the human hall. Otherwise, you wouldn't have reached the pinnacle of the heavenly realm. No wonder you've caused my soul hall to fail multiple times. You truly have some of Xiao Xin's traits." Xiao Yan's soul suddenly surged with intense fluctuations. "You're the soul hall master?" In the soul hall, only the master, who had never shown himself, could have cultivated their soul to this extent. The mysterious person said, "I intended to deal with some troubles after the pure lotus demon flame appeared. But since you dared to spy on the flame's birthplace, you'll come with me to the soul hall first. The soul essence of my soul hall is not something anyone can use." As the indifferent voice fell, Xiao Yan suddenly felt as if this world was instantly frozen. Even his soul seemed to have stopped. "Your soul power is strong, but unfortunately, your physical body is too weak." The void rippled, and a massive dark hand, hundreds of feet large, formed in the sky, reaching out to grab the space where Xiao Yan's soul resided. Just as the dark hand reached for Xiao Yan, a faint, elderly voice suddenly echoed, "Hun Mie Sheng. For someone of your status to attack a junior, isn't that a bit much?" A similarly enormous hand formed in the sky, and the two clashed violently. The terrifying soul storm that erupted shattered the restraints on the land. The thwarted attack caused the soul hall master to shout from the void, "Old ghost, so you too are spying on the pure lotus demon flame." The elderly voice slowly responded, "I just don't want it to fall into your soul hall's hands." As the restraint on the land shattered, an elderly voice echoed in Xiao Yan's mind, "Leave this place." Immediately, he felt his soul being forcefully pushed. In an instant, he felt the rush of wind by his ears, and within a few breaths, his soul had returned to his body. Cold sweat appeared on his forehead. When Xiao Yan's soul returned to his body, far away on a plain tens of thousands of miles from the falling star pavilion, a blue ox was leisurely chewing grass. On its back, a young cowherd boy, around 10 years old, slowly lifted his head and gazed towards the distant northwest. His clear eyes were filled with a profound understanding of the world's mysteries. "The birth of the demon flame will surely lead to a fierce battle," he murmured.